casino can charge one guest $400 for a room and then give that same room to someone else for nothing. The difference isn't generosity, it's a calculation. Now, before the second guest even checks in, the casino may already know their average bet, which games they prefer, how many hours they usually play, how often they visit, and how much they're statistically expected to lose. If that number is high enough, the room barely matters, because the casino isn't giving away a bed. It's buying more of the guests' time. It's keeping them close to the tables, the restaurants, the bars, and every other place inside the resort where money changes hands. The free room isn't where the deal ends. It's where the casino expects the spending to begin. Now, for most hotels, the room is the product. A guest pays for a place to sleep, the hotel earns money from the nightly rate, then tries to add breakfast, parking, room service, or a late checkout. Now, from the outside, a casino resort can look like the same kind of business. There's a front desk, a lobby, housekeeping, restaurants, or hundreds or even thousands of rooms. But underneath all of it, the economics are different. The room isn't always the final product. Sometimes it's the bait that keeps the real customer close to the real source of revenue. That becomes clear when you look at just how much money a modern resort earns beyond the hotel desk. In 2025, MGM Resorts reported roughly $945 billion in casino revenue, along with billions more from rooms, food, beverages, entertainment, and retail. The property isn't designed as a collection of separate businesses. It's designed as a connected spending environment. That's why a trip from a casino hotel room to the gaming floor is usually effortless. Have you ever noticed that? Think about it. You leave the elevator, you pass a bar, you pass a restaurant, you hear the machines before you even see them. And somewhere between your room and the exit, the building gives you another reason to stop. That layout matters because gambling revenue depends on repeated decisions. One more hand, one more spin, one more trip downstairs before bed. A guest staying across town has to make a decision to return to the casino. A guest staying upstairs only has to press an elevator button. But being close to the casino still doesn't explain why one person gets a free room while another pays full price. For that, the casino needs to estimate what each guest may be worth. Now, back in the day, that was partly a judgment call. Casino hosts built relationships with players, watched how they gambled, and decided who deserved dinner, tickets, or a hotel stay. Hosts still matter as well, especially for wealthy customers. But today, much of that judgment is supported by data, and a lot of it. That small loyalty card that we get, the one that we plug into the slot machine or give to the dealer, yeah, that's not just collecting points, it's creating a record. You see, at a slot machine, the system can track how much money moves through the machine, how long the session lasts, and which games we prefer. At a table, the tracking may be less exact, but the casino can still record estimates like the average of how much we bet, the type of game, and how long we actually played. Systems have been built to monitor the table activity and calculate the casino's theoretical win from recorded play. The important word here is theoretical. Casinos don't need to predict exactly what will happen when we play tonight. They already know that short-term results can be chaotic. One guest might arrive with 500 and leave with 5,000. Another might lose quickly and never come back. So instead of focusing only on what happened during one visit, the casino asks a different question. Based on the game, the size of the bets, and the amount of time played, how much should this customer lose over the long run? That estimate is often called theoretical loss, or simply Theo. The basic idea is this, and it's pretty straightforward. Start with the amount being bet or wagered. Multiply it by the speed of the game. Multiply that number by how many hours were played. Then apply the game's expected house average. So let's break it down like this. Imagine you're betting $100 per hand at a table. Suppose the game moves at 60 hands an hour and you play for about 4 hours, let's call it. That creates about 24,000 in total betting action. Now, if the casino estimates an average advantage of about 2% for playing that game, the theoretical loss is about $480. You might actually win 2,000 at night, or you might actually lose 4,000. But from the casino's point of view, the expected value of that play is still around $480. That expectation matters more than one lucky session. And once the casino has estimated what we're worth as a customer, it can easily decide how much to reinvest in bringing us back. That reinvestment might come back as free play, a steak dinner, concert tickets, airport transportation, a suite upgrade, or the offer most likely to turn a gambling trip into an overnight stay, a complimentary room. You see, the public price of that room might be $300 to $400, but that's not necessarily what it costs the casino to provide it. If the property would otherwise sit empty, the property isn't giving up the full advertised price. The added costs may be limited mostly to cleaning, utilities, linens, amenities, and wear. That creates a powerful gap between what the room feels like it's worth and what it's actually costing the casino. So to us, we're thinking that the casino just gave us a luxury room worth hundreds of dollars. To the casino, it may have traded a much smaller operating cost for another evening of gambling, dining, drinking, and entertainment. That's one reason rooms play such a large role in the comp economy. Let's look at Nevada. Nevada reporting classifies complimentary rooms, food, beverages, and other benefits as expenses or reductions connected to casino operations. In Nevada's 2024 gaming abstract, complimentary expenses across reporting casinos equaled more than 31% of the gaming revenue. Now, what that tells us is that comps aren't occasional gifts sitting around on the edges of the businesses. They're a major cost of attracting and keeping gambling customers. But a free room can do something a free meal can't. It extends time. See, dinner may keep a customer on the property for another hour. A room can keep them there all night and possibly into the next morning. A guest who's planning on leaving at midnight may gamble into 2. A guest who was planning to drive home may order another drink or 2. A guest who wakes up inside the resort may stop at the casino floor before checking out. You see, the room changes the length of the visit, and a longer visit creates more chances to spend. At that point, the offer starts to look like something more sophisticated than a discount. The casino isn't only rewarding past behavior, it's trying to shape future behavior. That idea became central to the transformation of Harrah's Entertainment, the company that would later become part of Caesars. Now, in the 90s, Harrah's began using its loyalty program and customer database to understand which gamblers were actually the most valuable. Gary Loveman, a former Harvard Business School professor who joined Harrah's and eventually became its chief executive, helped turn customer analytics into a central operating strategy. And the company found something surprising. The best customers weren't always the famous high rollers arriving in private jets. Oh no. Often, they were ordinary repeat visitors. They might not wager enormous amounts in one night, but they came back on a regular basis. Now, over time, those repeated visits could make them more valuable than a flashy customer who appeared once and then disappeared. Harrah's used customer information to test offers, measure responses, and direct promotions toward the players most likely to return. Loveman later described the company's approach as using data to build customer loyalty across its casino network. The room offer became part of that system. Not every guest received the same deal. Not every market received the same message. The company could send different offers to different groups, then measure which ones produced another visit. A free buffet may work for one player, bonus credits might work for another. For someone living several hours away, the hotel room could remove the biggest obstacle to returning. Suddenly, the trip feels cheap, maybe even foolish to turn down. And that feeling matters, because a complimentary room doesn't feel like advertising, it feels like recognition. The casino appears to be saying, you matter here. The guests may feel like they've earned access to something other customers have to pay for. And once a reward feels earned, leaving it usually can feel like wasting money. But if you think about it, nothing's actually been saved if the offer creates a trip that wouldn't have happened in the first place. The guests might avoid a $300 room charge, then risk $1,500 at the tables. They might receive $100 in dining credit and then spend hundreds more throughout the resort. They might even keep gambling because stopping early feels inconsistent with the status and benefits they've been given. The comp changes the way the guest organizes the spending. The comp changes the way the guest organizes the spending in their mind. The room goes into the free category. The gambling becomes entertainment. The restaurant becomes part of the vacation. Each expense sits in its own separate box, even though the casino measures the entire relationship as one customer value. Now, that doesn't mean every person who accepts a free room will lose more than a room is worth. Casinos can't control one individual result. A guest can take the room, gamble very little, and leave ahead. Some customers learn how to use loyalty offers carefully. What they do is separate the value of the benefit from the pressure to play. The system isn't perfect, but it doesn't need to be. It only needs to work across thousands or millions of customer visits. That's the advantage the casino has. The player experiences one trip, the casino sees a population. It sees how often people return after receiving an offer, how long they stay, how long their play changes, which benefits creates more profitable visits, and which customers stop responding when the offer becomes less generous. Major casino operators now describe loyalty programs as tools for capturing a larger share of a customer's entertainment spending, and they track that across physical casinos, hotels, sports betting, and online gaming. Caesars has explicitly told investors that its rewards program supports a cross-market strategy designed to keep customers spending inside its network instead of going out to a standalone competitor. So the free room is no longer only about getting someone into the building. It can connect an entire customer ecosystem. A person might earn status at a regional casino, receive an offer for Las Vegas, use the company's sportsbook, dine at a partner restaurant, and continue generating data at every single step. The reward follows the player, but so does the measurement. And that helps explain why comp offers can change without warning. A guest who once received weekend suites may suddenly see only discounted weekday rooms. Another customer may begin receiving better offers after one unusually active trip. The casino is constantly adjusting what it believes the relationship is worth, because actual losses can matter. But the deeper question is often how much profitable activity the casino expects from that customer in the future. So the room key marked 0 on the thumbnail that made you click to watch this video, which I appreciate by the way, is telling the truth only in the narrowest sense. There may be no charge for the room, but there's still an expected transaction. The casino expects time, it expects attention, it expects activity, and across enough guests, it expects the mathematics of the games to do what they were designed to do. The strange part is that the free room can still be a real benefit. A disciplined customer might receive more value than they give back. The bed is real, the service is real. The hotel may be excellent, but the hospitality and the calculation aren't opposites. They're the same system viewed from different sides. To the guest, the room is a reward for loyalty. To the casino, the room is an investment in behavior. And that's the real reason that casinos give free rooms away. They aren't betting that every guest will lose. What they're doing is betting that a free night will make enough of a stay, long enough for the house advantage to finally reach the room. Now, when I was doing the research to put this video together for you guys, what stood out to me was just how little the offer is actually about the room. I mean, sure, the room has value, but the casino is pricing the person staying in it. I'm Terry J, and I've got questions. I'll see you on the next one.